Advisors for US President-elect Joe Biden are scheduled to meet COVID-19 vaccine makers this week. Infections are continuing to surge across the country, passing 11 million. A million new cases have been recorded in just the past 6 days. The states of Michigan and Washington have imposed new COVID-19 curbs. Several others have reintroduced sweeping social distancing restrictions. Many states have also reported record-breaking case numbers. Experts say the virus is out of control. Now, for more on this, we're joined by Simon Marks, live for us from Washington, D.C. Simon, the Biden team meeting with vaccine makers couldn't come soon enough, really, reportedly developing their own distribution strategy as the Trump administration seemingly continues to shut them out of COVID-19 planning.
Well, they've been given no choice, Steve. They have to develop their own distribution strategy because there has been no contact, even now, between the Trump administration more broadly and specifically the Department of Health and Human Services and, of course, the Pentagon, both of which are very heavily involved in President Trump's planned rollout of the Pfizer vaccine and now, presumably, once it's approved for use, the Moderna vaccine as well. And so this issue of vaccine distribution becomes central to the failure of the Trump administration, the refusal of the Trump administration to engage in the traditional transition arrangements that would normally be in place between one administration and the next, governing the peaceful transfer of power here, absolutely the hallmark of America's constitutional democracy. But with President Trump insisting that he has won the election, even though there was the hint of a concession over the weekend that he then very rapidly withdrew on Twitter, and with all the senior figures within his cabinet honouring his desire that no government department should reach out to the Biden transition team and discuss the handover of any project whatsoever. The most important project right now, the imminent distribution of vaccines, will end up being two separate projects. The one that the Trump administration has worked on with the Pentagon and the US military, and the one that the Biden team now has to begin working on, absent any information about what the Trump administration's detailed plans for vaccine distribution might be. It's an absolutely astonishing situation more broadly in government here, and very specifically potentially dangerous because, of course, human lives are absolutely at stake.
Also, Simon, another headline making the rounds, New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo heating up his battle with the White House over its threat to withhold vaccines to the state, even as winter is coming. What's the latest on that front?
Yeah, absolutely. Governor Andrew Cuomo, the most prominent Democrat governor who's been fighting COVID-19, of course, in New York State, now says that he may sue the Trump administration if he doesn't make some progress about his concerns regarding the Trump administration's plans for vaccine distribution. Specifically, what worries Governor Cuomo is that the distribution plan that the Department of Health and Human Services has cooked up relies too heavily, says the governor, on private medical distributors, private medical companies, surgeries, private hospitals. He says that disproportionately it means that minorities will be underserved by vaccine distribution because they're not as reliant on private health facilities as more moneyed, more white communities tend to be. So he really wants this issue addressed. President Trump hit out at him in his appearance in the Rose Garden on Friday, saying that if Andrew Cuomo has problems with vaccine distribution, then the US government simply won't give him any vaccines to distribute. So this is almost certainly now heading to the courts. And there's big politics at play here, of course, because Governor Cuomo is a Democrat and Donald Trump, the president, a Republican, has been very critical of the way in which Democrat states have handled their response to COVID-19, constantly seeking to capitalize on that, even now as the vaccine spreads in so many as the virus spreads in so many Republican-led states.
Thanks very much for that. Simon Marks there speaking to us from Washington, D.C.